So our next speaker is Kate Smith. I would say Kate has taken the traditional route into the world of play work, and that's via the armed forces as a radio telegraphist and sharpshooter, working as a full-time Victorian wench on a barge. And of course, she's done time in a busy adventure playground. But with honours and a master's degree in play and play work, Kate was ideally suited as well to be one of the researchers and co-authors of this report, The Case for Play in Schools. And Kate's going to be focusing on particularly on the parents' perspective. So let's just get Kate up and running. If you can turn on your camera and your sound, Kate. Lovely. And if Sarah can launch your presentation for you now, because I know that Sarah is managing the presentations. There we go. Kate, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Brilliant.
So, over to you, Kate.
Okay, thank you. Lovely job. I'm very happy to be here today. I am very much looking forward to being able to talk about the parents' perspective. This past 18 months has been a really tricky year for parents in particular. And I've spoken to a lot of parents over the last over the last kind of 18 months. And I'd also like to thank Rachel Nesbitt right up front, because I met with her for coffee to find out more about what parents have been saying to her as well. So without further ado, next slide, please. Honestly, who would be a parent? Absolutely, I don't, hang on, I've missed a slide there. Can you go back one? Oh no, it's jumped one, never mind. Okay, go to that one. Okay, so just to introduce myself, I am a parent. I'm a parent of 3 children. The youngest one is 15, so I've been locked down with him. I've spent far too much time with a teenager, more than any parent and teenager should spend together over the last 18 months. We've kind of got through some of that time by binge watching far too much sci-fi, and that it probably has kind of reflects my attitude on quite a lot of this stuff now. So like many people that I have spoken to, and this is my personal parent research, a lot of people have managed the last 18 months through watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., lots of Star Wars and Mandalorian. So I have that on kind of good authority. But on who would want to be a parent at the moment, it's a really difficult position to be in, particularly over the last 18 months. We want our children to be really safe. We have a duty of care to keep our children safe. The things that are affecting our children, particularly in towns where places are being so much more built up, lots of traffic. There's the stranger danger or our perceived stranger danger. Social media, of course, not helping our perception of that, and worrying about whether our children are being bullied by their peers as well. There's so many different concerns for parents that I have spoken to. As parents, we want our children to be healthy as well. We want them to get enough physical activity. We want them to be kind of happy in themselves, mentally healthy, and we want them to be ready for life. We want them to learn things. We want them to be prepared and ready for whatever comes. I mean, personally, over the last kind of 18 months, being ready for life and the experiences that we've all had and the amount of sci-fi that I've been watching, I'm kind of expecting anything. Aliens wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. So we want our children to be ready for what is to come. And also, as parents, we one of the main things that we want is for our children to enjoy life and just to be happy and to be able to be a child. All of this is going on for parents, while at the same time feeling judged by the rest of society for just everything. Antisocial behaviour is our fault. Obesity is our fault. Global warming is our fault. Children being on screens is our fault. It's a really difficult difficult position to be in for many parents, and many parents do feel really, really judged. And many parents find it difficult to provide for all of these different things. People are in very different positions. Next, please. So over the past 18 months, different positions that we are in. This is my front room. This is me not last March, the first lockdown. So this is where I live. And this is in the middle of a housing estate in Devon. You can see my washing drying up in the top right of the window there. You can see my garden. I mean, I do have a garden. I'm quite lucky. It's not very big. And I know that I'm luckier than some and not as lucky as others. And what has become really evident in all the lockdowns and restrictions we've had is just the disparity between different people's situations. And that can be that can be within one country. It can be within the same town. You can have people living very different lives. Even in the same household, you can have people having incredibly different experiences over the past 18 months. For me, my husband is a key worker. He's a lorry driver. You might not recognise lorry drivers anymore. They're a little bit of a rare species. So if you see one, give them a wave and a thumbs up, because they're getting a hard time at the moment. But he's a key worker, so his job kind of carried on. I've been at home, mostly doing this lit review, as you will see. So even in the same house, and I've been obviously with the 15-year-old at home with my tiny little garden. So even within the same house, people can be having incredibly different experiences of lockdown, and that's become really apparent over the last kind of year. Next, please. This is a quote that has become a little bit infamous. You've probably seen it around, but I kind of think this sums up the lockdown and the last experiences of everybody pretty nicely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you. Next one. But the good news is that if in schools we have an amazing opportunity, because every single child has an equal opportunity to go to school. So whatever their situation at home is, whether they don't have a garden, whether they are stuck in the middle of a busy road, whether their neighbourhood is not safe, every child has an equal opportunity to play outside at school. And having over lockdown, as you know, I was part of the team that was researching the literature about children's play in schools, and the evidence is overwhelmingly suggesting that that through play in schools, children can accrue all of these benefits. So they are in a safe place that isn't traffic. They have lots of children to play with. There is a sense of belonging. It can reduce stress. There are so many benefits for children playing outside in adventurous ways or in quiet ways, in whatever ways work for them. They have an opportunity to run around. They have an opportunity to play with other children, as long as the supervision facilitates that. So if you have a really positive playtime that is being supervised and managed in a fantastic way, then every single child has that opportunity. Next, please. And more than that, also children have the opportunity to be children. As parents, we want our children to learn as much as possible. We want them to be safe, to be healthy. We want them to be prepared for life. But more than anything, we want them to have a chance to just be children and to enjoy life. And during children's playtime in schools, if schools have facilitated a really amazing environment for children's play, then actually that is the perfect time for children just to enjoy life and to enjoy being children and doing what they want to do without anybody telling them what to do. Next, thank you. So yeah, so children have just the space to play around, to explore, to adventurous play, and these are things that they might not be able to get in the environments in which they live. But again, children in school playtimes is an equal opportunity for every single child. And after the past couple of 18 months, it's really nice to be able to provide that for every single child. This is not a special provision. This is just something to which every single child is entitled to. Next, please. So that is about it really from me. Just yeah, so by helping your school, as as a parent, you can be a really big part of helping your school to create an amazing playtime for children, so that every single child can have an equal access to an amazing playtime, whatever their situation. Thank you. That's it.